And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. Sorry I'm late, but I was on the road traveling. Just got done recording the podcast. That should be out pretty soon. Shout out to Hartley Initiated. Great guys, really professional, good topics. But tonight we got quite a few topics on deck. We're talking about the classified documents from Joe Biden and how the media are trying to downplay that, talking about, oh, it was only a few documents, not a whole bunch of documents, and they self-reported. We're going to talk about all of that in a little bit. Also, speaking about Biden, they are considering banning gas stoves, talking about, oh, it's a safety hazard. Really? How long has gas stoves been in use? But all of a sudden now it's a safety hazard. Maybe there's a different reason why they want to ban them. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysics person, just like Bill Nye, the chemical engineer guy, he wants to force vaccinations because, hey, it's for the greater good of the entire population. Although they've already come out and said that if you get the vax, it doesn't prevent transmission. So what are we talking about? Speaking about the virus, did you guys see that Jimmy Fallon Cringe? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. I just got off the road literally a few minutes ago, got in my house. I was driving, stuck in traffic. I just was in Atlanta and I came back up to chat. So literally like 3 hours. Should take an hour and a half, but I'm here. So thank y'all again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got quite a few topics on deck. But first, shout out to my sponsors. Shout out to me, my websites. You have AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the website, you can find everything I'm talking about as far as a video on the front page. So if there's a video, there'll be an article to correlate with it, and you can fact check me on everything I'm talking about. You can look at the links, look at everything. It'll be right there on the front page. Also go to the contact page, and you can find my email address, my snail mail address. All that good stuff will be right there on the contact page. And my social media links, my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. All that'll be right there. But you're on YouTube, so you already know what it is anyway. But the Facebook, what I got, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that's right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com. Again, ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also go to ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. Go get it today. And what else we got? Shout out to BHEDesigns.com to make the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. Again, BHEDesigns.com. Also, go to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. And also, you're listening to a podcast right now being recorded live. If you're on the YouTube watching live as I'm talking about it. If you want to hear this audio only, go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And if you are listening to me right now on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. On that platform, I'd most certainly appreciate it. Now, there is a lot going on. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, if you're just not coming in, stuck in traffic, what should have took me an hour and a half, took me 3 hours. It was all kind of crazy stuff. Like, traffic in these big cities is ridiculous. Like, there was a traffic jam. I don't even know what the problem was. I think it might have been an accident. And then further up the road, there was like a piece of a toilet on the ground. I'm not kidding. A piece of an actual toilet, like the actual bowl and the tank and everything else was just like on the ground in the road. In the middle of a 8-lane highway, there's a toilet just hanging out like ain't nothing going on. So now we got to try to like maneuver around it. It's kind of a big mess. But anyway, I digress. Luckily, the toilet was not filled up. It was just kind of an empty husk. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens, but I'm here. So thank y'all again for joining. I'm gonna be here live whenever I can. LB says Instagram live. I'm gonna do more of the Instagram lives as well. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do more of that. And I always say that when I go live on IG, but I think I'm gonna be more consistent now. And James Ellis says you shouldn't go anywhere on show days. You gotta think about us. That's hilarious. But yeah, my the podcast is over at 5:00, and I'm just now getting back. It was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, we got quite a few things on deck for tonight. And where do I want to start? I think I want to start with Neil deGrasse Tyson and the whole forced vaccination situation. Now, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson, you guys know, you know who he is. Maybe you don't know who he is, but Neil deGrasse Tyson is a astrophysicist, and he is akin to Bill Nye because they both play scientists on television. He's a TV scientist. All right. He is like when you are 10 years old and you fall asleep watching TV and a televangelist is screaming at you and it scares you to death, wakes you up out of your sleep. Your heart is beating 1,000 miles a minute, right? He's like that, but just on a scientist end. Him and Bill Nye, both of them. Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist, talking about the stars and the planetarium, and Bill Nye, a chemical engineer, started off doing little cheesy, 8-year-old level experiments on television, and then all of a sudden he became some kind of figure for science. Hey, trust Bill Nye. He knows what's going on. It's like, okay, you go from doing the volcano experiment that I might have done when I was in the 3rd grade on TV for entertainment to now you're some kind of know-it-all about quote-unquote science, but I digress. So Neil deGrasse Tyson went on Valuetainment, which is a great show. Shout out to Patrick Bet David. I love to be on your show, sir. That was a fantastic show. Or is a fantastic show in general. But he goes on there and he's talking about the vax in a crazy way. I have the clip, of course, on the website, but I'm going to play some of that right here. So you get some context as to what was going on. And basically what he was talking about is, it's for the good of the nation that we forced the vax. But here's the thing. I thought they dropped that talking point a long time ago. That was a talking point, but it's not anymore. As I always play, like I have this particular clip I'm going to play from Rochelle Walensky. I've played it 1,000,000 times on this channel. And apparently I got to play it 1,000,001 times because people are not necessarily getting the idea. They're not getting the picture. Right. So let's play it one more time for those in the back. One more time for those in the back. Devin says, Shill Nye, fantastic. Excellent. Excellent choice of words right there. I'm going to steal that from you, Devin. Shill Nye, hilarious. Shill Nye, the chemical engineer guy. But here is the CDC director. Matter of fact, is she the current director? I know I'm jumping around a little bit. Y'all just please hang in there with me. Yeah, she is the current right now today. As of right now today, Wednesday, January 11, 2023, the current CDC director, Rochelle Walensky. And she was the director back then in 2019 when this video came out, like right around the summertime. She says right here that the vaccine cannot prevent transmission. It cannot prevent transmission, which means if you get the shot, you will not be protected from catching or spreading. All they claim it does is reduce your symptoms. That's all they claim it does. And does it even do that? I'd say, hey man, it might give you more symptoms. You might just fall out for some random reason after getting it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's play this clip right quick. Let's get some sound, no ear piercing.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that put them at high risk, I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings. Our vaccines are working exceptionally well.
Let's play it. Okay, I'm gonna let it one more time. So because you didn't hear it the first time, I'm gonna let the first part run one more time.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission.
So this part, the first part, is all that needs to be said. The last part doesn't make any sense. She says a vaccine cannot prevent transmission. That's the end of it. So if you're going around someone who's unvaccinated, does it even matter? Because it can't prevent transmission, meaning you can still catch it and spread it. That's what transmission means. It doesn't mean you just give it to somebody, but you can receive it. It means you can't prevent catching it or spreading it. That's what transmission means. It's a two-way street, not just one way. Okay, when you're driving on the road, people are being transmitted from one point to another. It goes back and forth. It's not just a one-way street. So that was all you need to know right there. This is 2019. We're now in 2023. No, pardon me, that was 2021. I said 2019. That was 2021 when this came out. That video I just showed you. We're now in 2023, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is talking about that it can prevent transmission. So let's go ahead and play that clip from Valuetainment.
Be a consequence to you not.
Okay, hold on. Let me just get a bit of. Let me just go back a little bit to get some more context.
There's a choice. There's a public health contract that you have signed.
I ain't signed no contract. Did y'all sign the contract? Like when did any of us sign a public health contract? And if I did, I signed it under duress. My lawyer wasn't present, and I'm gonna call on the judge to get that vacated. Throw it out. I ain't signed no contract with public health. Maybe you think I did, or you feel like I should have, or you think by me being a citizen of the U.S., I signed a public health contract, but I did no such thing. I did no such thing. What are we talking about here?
Implicitly, as a citizen of a country where in part we depend on each other for health, our wealth, our security, and the like. And that contract is...
Okay, health, wealth, security. So I signed a contract to help you attain wealth, to secure your home. I sure didn't. Check it out, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You got a robber in your crib. Okay, people in the house screaming. Y'all don't have any guns. Is it my responsibility, living all the way out here in Tennessee, to go to your house in the hills of LA, wherever you live, and protect you? I ain't signed that contract. Now, of course, it'd be neighborly if I was right next to you and I was able to help you. That'd be neighborly, but I'm not required to do it. No, I'm not. Ring, police, go to his house and see what's going on. I'm not required to do anything like that.
In the best scientific evidence available at the time, if you do not get vaccinated, you will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. So with any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract. Is it your job? In some cases it was. But no, we're not going to have the army bust into your home and force a needle into your shoulder. That's not going to happen.
We pretty much did that.
Well, only put your job at risk.
We did do that. We sure did do that. And to pause right quick, speaking about the army forcing a needle into your arm, didn't the military vaccine mandate get overturned? Let me just make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. So, yeah, here we go. Here we are. This is on CNN. Pentagon officially rescinds COVID-19 vaccine requirement for troops. Okay, now, here's the question I have, $1 million. We get back to Neil deGrasse Tyson in a minute, but the question I have for this situation here, okay, if you were in the military and you were discharged for not getting the vaccine, and now they've ditched that requirement, just maybe 6 months later, 2 months later, a year later, then what happens? Are you eligible to get back pay? Can you get reinstated, re-enlisted? If you got a dishonorable for not getting vaxxed, do they change it? How does this really work? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. The whole thing from the beginning was dumb. It was dumb. How can Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about, well, we got to have a vaccine mandate and it's a good thing, when left and right, they're rescinding the mandates. They're rescinding them. And the government itself is rescinding the mandates. If it's about a social contract and doing what's best for the country, for your neighbor, for your people that are in the country with you, why is the federal government rescinding its vaccine mandates on the troops? I mean, let's figure it out. Okay. But I'm trying to figure out from you guys, what would happen? What would it be the result of this whole thing? Because that's really the most important situation here. People already got fired. A matter of when says, why would anyone go back to a place that discriminated against them and treated them like garbage? Yeah, as you know, that's a very good question. Actually, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. That was a very good question. Okay. Weremeister says, saw the military is giving general discharge under honorable conditions for those military who refuse to jab. Okay. There we go. That whole situation is crazy. Let's go back to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Risk, yes.
Yeah, 67% of Americans took the COVID. That's force. That's not a choice. That's a lot of force and coercing and pushing going on. But you can't go to the school unless you're vaccinated against mumps. I think that's bullshit.
That's a different country.
Yeah, but
okay, would you want a country?
No, America is supposed to be the one that offers the most freedom. That's what America is supposed to be.
Yeah, okay, so watch.
So for example, if you use that argument, somebody may say, well, freedom of choice, I want to choose what I want to do with the body. You're right.
What body?
If you want to get an abortion, it's your choice.
Your own body.
If you want to get an abortion, get an abortion. If I want to get the vaccine, I get to choose. So you can't force. If I can't force you to get an abortion, you shouldn't be able to force me to get
because it's not about you. It's about people you interact with, and that's the social contract.
But it is about me, though, because ultimately I'm putting it into my body. It is about me. You can't say, oh, it's not about you. Do something for somebody else. No, it's my body. It's not like it's not like putting on the T-shirt that has a vaccine repellent on it to where it won't damage me. I'm putting this vax into my body, and the long-term effects are unknowable. We don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. Okay, at one point, asbestos was 100% safe, and now COPD, mesothelioma, etc., Camp Lejeune, water, all kind of stuff was deemed as totally fine. Burn pits, totally fine. Camp Lejeune, totally fine. Asbestos, totally fine. But at a certain point, if you start to see a pattern, or you might see something that looks kind of dangerous, or it might not feel right, you should have the right to not put that into your body, or to not be covered in it, surrounded by it, or whatever. That should be your choice. And you shouldn't be fired from a job because you don't want to put this needle into your arm. Now I can understand if you're working at an asbestos factory and you don't want to be around asbestos, that's one thing. But if I'm working at UPS, why am I getting a vaccine mandate? If I'm working as, I'm in the Marines or I'm in the Army, why am I getting this random vaccine in my arm that I don't want, that I didn't sign up to get? You know what I mean? So that's just really not what it is.
Of public health.
We don't even know if the vaccine worked or not at the time.
Yes, that's what the trials are, dude. That's why these trials. Are you missing data out there?
But let me ask you a question. Are we saying only one type of scientists are right?
No, we're saying that the system in place,
the 16,000 that signed that.
No. The system in place to test vaccines. Yeah. There's an entire system that's in place. That with review boards and all of it,
and the average,
that's in place. Now you can say what you can say is, I have a better idea than all these review boards and all these agencies and the CDC. I have a better idea. Here's what you should do. And that would have made everything better. Okay, you can put forth that idea. But what I'm saying is, in a case where you can contaminate someone else, it's not about you. It's about the collective.
about the collective, about the commune. You're getting into some communist language right here, Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is what China would say to its citizens when they lock them up. They put them in them camps and say, oh, well, it's not about you. It's about your fellow constituents. I mean, your fellow citizens, your neighbors, your friends, your family. It's about them. It's about all of society. So if we got to sacrifice your freedom for the quote unquote greater good, then so be it. And ultimately, it's not even the thing that makes a difference. You know, you're not helping the problem. You're ruining your country as a result of all of this. I mean, I'm not sure how China's going to survive. If China dies as a result of this, the world is going to be in trouble. Everything that you own almost is made in China some kind of way, even if not directly. Sometimes you'll see on some of these Made in America tools, for example, it'll say something like Made in America with global components. Y'all know what that means. Okay, the plastic handle of a hammer was from China, and then so was the steel, but we put it together in the U.S. You see what I'm saying? We put it into a mold into the U.S. Or it came from India or somewhere else. We didn't make all the components, all the parts here. Try buying a cell phone made in America, impossible. Laptop, impossible. All your electronics, a lot of your vehicle parts, your rare earth metals come from China or somewhere overseas. So if they fall, it's going to be a hard thing for the whole world to be able to take. Same thing if we fall. So not only are the C-19 policies ridiculous that he's talking about, they also do nothing more than just destroy your nation. China has very strict C-19 policies. Okay, they got the whole thing with the app where it goes green and red, all this and that, but it's not stopping the spread. They still continuing to shut down. So it's like, is it even working? Even if you thought that the vax was a good thing, is it working though? The proof is in the pudding. The proof says, no, it's not working. People are still getting hospitalized. People are still dying. People are still having issues. And at the same time, you're destroying your country by having these ridiculous rules on the books, which is why the U.S. is starting to back off of them because they realize that. All right. So, yeah. Oh, and you're right. Basketball Jones says Tyson, the astrophysicist, masquerading as a virologist. Exactly. Same thing with him and Bill Nye, the chemical engineer guy. Same thing. You know, like at a certain point, these guys got to stop. And you know what the crazy thing is? People like Neil deGrasse Tyson would get all kind of airplay when he says stuff like that. But real scientists who don't go with the actual, who go against the grain of the actual TV professionals. And when I say that, I mean guys that might be professionals, guys that might be doctors and whatnot, virologists, but they will say whatever they are told to say. Or they're only brought on when they have an opinion that is congruent with the current mainstream narrative. If you go against the mainstream narrative as a scientist, you're not funded, you're not highlighted, they don't want to talk to you. And as a matter of fact, they're going to ostracize you, throw you under the bus, might try to lock you up. Okay, we've seen people get locked up behind all this stuff for no reason. Just like the whole thing with January 6th, right? You got guys that are being locked up really for nothing. Because it's a point to prove. We're locking you up because you made, how can I say this? It's not about trying to overthrow the government. It's not even really yet, because they understand that's not what that was. A real coup is involving firearms and a lot of heavy rapid fire, like a war type thing, like a El Chapo, Ovidio Guzman type thing, where you have the criminal combatants, or whoever you want to call them, however you want to call them, literally fighting the government. That's not what happened on January 6th at all. Or in Brazil, they're trying to say, oh, the Brazil thing was J6, but it wasn't. But anyway, I digress. The whole point is that Neil deGrasse Tyson, all these people, they're out there just to push a particular narrative to try and control what we got going on. That's a good question right there. Not a good question, a good point from Prime Matrix. Prime Matrix says 4 out of 5 doctors prefer Camel's cigarettes. Yep, I remember those commercials. Well, I wasn't around to see them, but I remember I wasn't around to see them live on TV, I don't think, but I remember seeing some of the posters and whatnot after the fact, for sure. After the fact, I do remember that. So, yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson, all these TV doctors, I don't know, man. It's really a mess. I think it's pretty obvious that some of these guys are bought and paid for, and they are told to say certain things. It's really crazy. Because, you know, when a person is obviously wrong and they're not really trying to back off of it, it's like, wow, they really think that they're right. They really think that this is a thing that makes sense. I think that high level of confidence comes from the fact that they're going to get paid regardless of what you think. Okay, if there's a big check from Pfizer, Moderna, etc., they're going to get paid regardless. It doesn't matter what you think, how you feel. They're getting their cash regardless. Now, speaking about people that could be marketing for Pfizer, Moderna, etc., your man Jimmy Fallon, and I'm gonna get to that whole thing about the gas stoves and whatnot. I will get to it in just one moment. But going back to the whole C19 thing, your man Jimmy Fallon broke out into a jingle supporting it. I think this was an ad, a 100% ad. You guys may or may not know, but I was a graphic designer for a long time, web designer. I had a bunch of clients, and they kind of would call me for consulting purposes. How can I make this look better? How can I get more clients? How can I get more? So I did that for probably about 10 years. Longer than that. I still do consulting a little bit now. I still get calls now. Still get calls. I've not done any work in that field really since 2016, 2017, but I still get calls now. But I digress. The whole point is that I did that work for a long time, and I understand marketing, I understand advertising. I went to college, and I taught a course called advertising, and they were talking about how sometimes it's, I guess you would say, unethical at worst, and kind of you're easily caught off guard at best when advertising happens to you rather than it being an obvious ad. For example, when you watch my YouTube videos, there are ads at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, at the end, or whatever. They're obvious ads. They're labeled as such. You know it's not me talking. You know it's not my video. But if I subtly do something in the video where it's me, like if it's me right now, and I'm just ever so subtly doing something, right? Ever so subtly doing something, like this is a little bit more obvious, right? It's kind of like I'm not saying anything about what I have in my hand right now. I'm not mentioning it, but you still see it, okay? You see what's going on. You see the logo. You see what this is, right? It's a subtle advertising, but it's pretty obvious. But sometimes the advertising is not as clear. And I'm going to point that out in this video. You guys are really smart. You probably understand exactly what was going on, but not everyone may see it right away. Let's go ahead and just play it, and I may stop it at a certain point to point out the ad or what I think is an ad. Let's go ahead and get into it.
There was Alpha, then Delta, then Omicron next, but this latest variant might be the best. It's XBB.1.5.
Okay, first of all, right there, you're talking about all the variants, and you're kind of stoking the public's fear. They know all these variants, and you know what? Ever since this commercial and other things that have been going on, I'm seeing an uptick in mask wearing because the media and the politicos know they already got a lot of fear into the hearts of American people. So whenever they say a new strain is out, people start to wear the mask more. They go get vaccinated more. They know what the response is going to be. It's like it's clockwork. So then they put out a brand new variant. Look at this, XBB 1.5. What is that even really? Ridiculous stuff, right? But it don't matter. You put anything, you could say it's Winnie the Pooh strain, it's Captain Kangaroo strain. It doesn't matter what it is. People are going to see it's a brand new strain. I need to get updated on my vax. I need to get another mask or 2 or 20 or 1,000 masks. That's the whole point. And anybody that has stock in, the vax and the mask and whatnot, they're going to just have a big payday. So I would not be surprised if he was prompted to do this by the head honchos at NBC, because they probably got cut a big check from people that have those interests to do this. It's simple.
Another brand of COVID-19 has arrived. It's a new strain, but it isn't the same. Sounds more like Elon Musk's kid's name. It's XBB.1.5, not UB40, who sings red, red wine. Put on your mask when you're inside a facility.
The last line right there, did you hear it? You see, okay. A couple of lines before that, the jingle was just a bit more playful and not necessarily anything that was a direct command. Talking about UB40, all that kind of stuff, just playful. But then it became a little bit more serious. Let's replay that right quick. Here's what I'm talking about when there's an actual ad and you don't realize it, it kind of happens to you.
UB40, who sings red, red wine. Put on your mask when you're inside a facility.
See that right there? Put on your mask when you're inside a facility. That means put your mask back on. This is a PSA. Put your mask back on, because it was kind of clinical in the way that it was said. A little bit. He's trying to like jazz it up with the song and hide it in the song, but I heard that loud and clear. Put your mask back on and get your vax. That's basically what he's saying right here in this song. Rather than trying to just clown the XBB 1.5, make it be something that's funny, he's telling you to get vaxxed and wear your mask. That's all.
It could be a robot from a Star Wars trilogy. It's XBB.1.5, not OMG or MP3 or TCBY, or an eye chart made by a really high guy. Sounds like the password of your parents' Wi-Fi. It's XBB.1.5.
Embarrassing is the word. Cringe is the word. But you know what? Fallon doesn't care because he's going to get paid. It's going to be a big bonus at the end of the year, if not already right now. Same thing for NBC. They got their money. Sponsored by Pfizer, sponsored by Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, federal government. That's just what's happening right here. It's pretty clear. And it's pathetic, really. It's really pathetic. It's like, look, don't trick me into getting the thing because I'm not going to get it any other way. Now check it out. If all your years of trying to convince me this is a good thing, it's safe for me, has not worked, then why do you think it will all of a sudden work now? Like, oh, you know what? I saw Jimmy Fallon talking about XBB 1.5. And you know what? After many years of refusing to get the vax, being a pure blood, and hanging my hat on being a pure blood, that little jingle just sent me over the line. It won't work for me, but they're counting on regular normie Americans who have not gotten the vax yet to be tricked by that. And that is the whole point. I bet when they do stuff like that, they could probably track when they do stuff like that, how much the sales go up. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I would not be surprised in the least bit. So yeah, were you guys in any kind of way swayed by that song? Did the cringe sway you to go from one thought process to the other thought process? It didn't for me. Personally, it didn't do it for me. I maybe I'm just a old guy and I don't know good songs when I hear it. I can't tell, but that didn't really do it for me. So yeah, shout out to all the people at Jimmy Fallon's, all the writers at his job at his late night show. You're gonna be in the unemployment line with a cup talking about, can I get $1 real soon? But maybe not. And before I continue, I just want to say rest in peace to Diamond from Diamond and Silk, also known as her real name, Lynette Hardaway. May she rest in peace. 51 years old. I'm not sure what happened. If guys are saying why she died, I think it's speculation, conjecture. I don't know how she died or why she died. 51 years old. Very sad. I've never met them, before Diamond and Silk. I was at an event where they were at, where I was at two events where they were at. I was at a Lincoln Day dinner in Chattanooga when they were here. They were the headline speakers. And then I was at a Black Voices for Trump event in Atlanta, and they were there as well. I was trying to like meet him and talk to him, but it was so many people trying to meet him and talk to him. They're talking about big stars, really big stars. It was crazy. So yeah, shout out to everyone who was affected by their commentary. They were hilarious too. I'm talking about, and I think my favorite moment from them, my favorite moment from them was when they went to Roland Martin. Oh man, that was crazy. They tore him to pieces. He had no answer for Diamond and Silk. So may Diamond rest in peace. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a picture up right quick. 51 years old. I don't know how she died, because that's a question that's being asked. People said that she'd been hospitalized because of the bug in November of last year, but I don't know that to be true. I don't know too much of what's going on. Okay. So let me just put up a picture right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Okay, so this is her right here. Okay. Diamond from Diamond and Silk. This is Lynette Hardaway, 51 years old, passed away. So may she rest in peace. All right. But there is a lot more we got going on here. And to awkwardly change pace, where did I want to go next? I think I was going to talk about the Fallon Cringe, forced vax. Oh, the stoves. Let's get to the stoves, because this story is crazy. So the Biden administration were talking about possibly banning stoves. They kind of walked that back. There's articles talking about, no, they don't want to ban your gas stove. They're saying it was a recommendation from some kind of group or council to ban your gas stove, all this, that, and the third. But they're talking about doing it. They're talking about that whole thing happening. It's not a surprise. And, you know, the reasoning given at the beginning was that they want to make the environment safer. I think Cory Booker and other politicians signed a letter talking about there's racial issues involved. And before I continue, Cory Booker ought to be training yourself. You ought to be training yourself. This was an obvious purchase. You were purchased. You and the other guy were purchased. You were lobbied to do this. There's no other reason why you guys write a letter talking about, oh, gas stoves are dangerous to the environment or to people's health, and it's going to affect Black and brown communities. Be for real, Cory Booker. I mean, I know you wanted to be president. That didn't work out, which it wasn't going to work out anyway, because check it out. Cory Booker, they thought it'd be Barack Obama. Light-skinned guy, clean shave, et cetera, but they forgot a few things. I mean, you know, maybe there's more to liking someone other than their skin color, other than how they look, just maybe. But anyway, they forgot quite a few things that they needed to have to make Cory Booker be somebody. Like, I don't know, a wife and kids. That was a big part of Barack Obama. Of any man that's going to be the president, wife and kids, very important. You know, or some woman around. It can't just be he's just there working like a schlep. Wife, kids, woman, it's got to be something there. First. Second, he's super goofy. He's goofy as goofy can be. And you can't really be goofy trying to be Barack Obama. I mean, Obama, I don't like his policies, obviously. But I can't deny that he was smooth as silk. No pun intended of what I was talking about just now. He was a smooth guy. He was a very smooth guy. You know, smooth operator, smooth talker. Kind of like a jet-lag preacher with the smoothness. Kind of like a shade tree car mechanic that is telling you the wrong thing. But it doesn't matter, because the average normie wants that kind of comfort. They want the smooth talker, the fast talker. They want that guy that looks a certain kind of way, who looks authoritative, like he got things under control. They want that. It doesn't matter if it's real or not, but they want that feeling. But the guy, Cory Booker, did not have that feeling. So the whole thing with Rosario Dawson, that didn't work. Trying to become president obviously didn't work. He didn't have what it took. So now he is going back to D.C. and being lobbied to pass environmental bills, talking about no gas stoves. And like I said, they said it was about health because it causes asthma, all this, that, and the third. But really, it's about just a war on fossil fuels. They want to slowly take you off of fossil fuels, natural gas, oil, like everything. You can't go to the pump and get oil in your tank. You can't have your house warmed up by natural gas. None of that they don't want. You can't use natural gas to cook. That's the whole point. And it's not even about health issues because how long have gas stoves been around? Forever. And even before gas stoves, what you had, like wood-fired stoves, those been around for a long time. Okay, how many particulates does a campfire produce? If you are cooking food on the open flame and you right there attending to it, that's going to be a lot of stuff all in your face, a lot of particulates, a lot of burnt matter and everything you're going to inhale. So it's just dumb. Furthermore, if you have an electric cooktop or electric stove, you can create just as much debris and particulates and whatnot from that as you could with a gas stove because of the whole process of cooking and then the plastics and the metals and everything else. It's all going to contribute. The most important thing that they said, not the Biden administration, but the people that were against them, representing the appliance manufacturers, they said the biggest thing that you need to do to reduce any kind of harm from your electronics, from your appliances, is ventilate. Okay, you've been cooking chicken for the past 45 days straight without opening the window, without opening the door, without using your range hood, if you have one. If there's no range hood, at least open your window, get some air in there. The best windows, in my opinion, are the ones right there in the kitchen, right there in your cook area. Let the window stay open and get the air out, get the air ventilated. That's going to be the best. But trying to ban a gas stove, it's all about just trying to, it's about the fossil fuel industry. That's all it is. And there's a picture I want to show you guys of Jill Biden. So of course I said, well, Jill Biden, of course they said that the gas stoves are going to be a problem, but they use it. That's kind of how that works. So check it out. You see it right here on the screen. I mean, you can't make it up. You got a gas cooktop and on your island on top of that. So this was something that was, kind of fancy. This ain't even really a stove necessarily. It's a straight, it could be a stove because there could be a stove up underneath that, but you got a gas cooktop on your island. There may even be a gas stove aside from this somewhere else in the kitchen. There's probably a nice big range hood above that, right in the center of the room in the kitchen. Very nice. So you want to have us give up our gas stoves, Biden administration, while your wife is, I'm not sure what's happening here. I don't see any kind of olive oil, no, nothing. I'm seeing a bunch of spinach leaves randomly tossed into a plate. Into a pan. Like, what's going on here? Fried salad, exactly. Like, what are we doing? What exactly is happening? I mean, maybe she's trying to heat up the spinach for some reason, but I don't really understand. I don't really get it. Whatever. I'm not saying she's an excellent cook. This kind of reminds me of some of these things I see on Instagram where it'd be a young lady and she's like pretending to cook, that whole vibe, that whole aesthetic, and it'd be a empty pot, nothing in it. She's stirring the pot. There's nothing in it at all. That's kind of what's happening here. This may well be a empty pan and a nonstick pan. Come on, like you got this fancy range with a nonstick. Can we get some stainless steel in there or something? Anyway, I digress. The point is, they're talking about banning gas stoves, but you can't have it and they can. That's how they always are. Al Gore, same way. Talking about you got to have a lower carbon footprint. You can't spend too much. You can't have too much gas, natural, fossil fuel usage in a year. But he flies private all around the world. That is a really, 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 really big gas guzzler. More than your Toyota Tundra, more than your H3, more than your Dodge Challenger, more than anything you have in your garage. A private plane is you're talking about $10,000 in fuel for one trip, depending on the point where you're going. $10,000, you might spend that much on gas in some years combined for all your travels. Like if you spend even $100 a week on gas, $400 a month, what's that, like $4,000 in a year? And you're talking about $4,800 in 12 months. You're nowhere near what he would spend on a private plane ride, two-way for one trip. You spend half of that in a year on your everyday commute, and which is a high number. $100 a month is still, that's kind of high. I'm talking about you going from Philly to New York driving every day for work. That's kind of what you be spending as far as gas prices compared to one trip from a private plane. But anyway, I digress. I don't like cast iron skillets. I mean, maybe I'm biased. I think I've just not really had the proper food cooked on a cast iron. I like stainless steel because I'm a neat freak. I'm the kind of guy that puts your cast iron skillet in the dishwasher. Sue me. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That's me. I'm putting all dishes in the dishwasher or I'm washing them by hand. Point blank. If you got a cast iron you want to preserve, well, I suggest you put some kind of plastic wrap on that and put a note on it and say, please don't wash. Please don't wash. And you know what? I could have gotten a gas stove where I live because I had this house. It's a subdivision and you could customize it before they built it. So I had it built and they were saying, do you want a gas stove? I was like, no, I don't want a gas stove because I just didn't want to do with the maintenance of upkeep of a gas stove. But I'm not against gas stoves. I like eating food cooked on gas stoves. And I also have a gas furnace, which comes in great handy. I got a gas furnace and I got a gas hot water heater. That comes in excellent handy. Okay. I mean, especially during some of these power outages and whatnot, or how can I say it? If you have a strain on the grid because of very cold weather, you won't be part of it because you have a gas furnace. You need electricity still to power the blower in the furnace, if I'm not mistaken, but the heating element is not electric. Anyway, I digress. We got quite a few things going on here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But yeah, I say come and take it. You want my gas stove? Come and take it. I saw somebody had a meme with the actual gas stove on the come and take it flag. They kind of changed it. That was pretty clever. But yeah, I think that they're trying to change their tune on the whole thing with gas stoves because they realized that it was a bad thing. People didn't like it. But I mean, you already put it out there now. Ain't no point in trying to walk it back. Might as well just double down on it. Just double down. TG says chefs only use gas stoves. Makes sense to me. You know, personally, I'm not I'm a survivalist cook. You understand? I cook enough for me to live, but I'm not the kind of guy that's going to sit there and say, you know what, I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. I cook enough for me to be able to survive, and that's pretty much how it goes. I got my Foreman grill, and I'm going to rock out until the cows come home. That's pretty much how I operate. Let me read some of the comments here, then I'm going to get to the next one. It only cut the gas off. The next thing is going to be no more gas furnaces because they're going to say that's harmful too. Then they're going to say no more gas hot water heaters, and you're going to be all electric. And, you know, there's no thought process put into this really, because how are you going to power all these electric devices? They said 40% of stoves in the US are gas. 40%. So if all of a sudden you go from 40% 40% gas stoves to 40% to 40 more percent electric, 100% electric, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be showing, because I cook a lot every week. I cook 3, 4, 5 times a week. I cook. I use my electric stovetop. If I had a gas stovetop, it'd be the gas. And it's a lot of guys and girls and families just like me. So if they change your gas to electric, you're going to put it straight on the grid. If they change your gas furnace to electric, straight on the grid. And when the power goes out, you're not going to have it. So what's the actual purpose? Is it about control? Is it about trying to starve you out? Meaning, in this context, freeze you to death. Okay, the grid goes out. You got an electric furnace. You're cold. You're freezing. No hot water. No gas stove. You're pretty much out of luck. So now you kind of like dependent upon the government trying to help you, because you can't have things you could do to help yourself. Yeah, the power grid will be on tilt, Boomhauer. On tilt. It's already on tilt now when it gets real cold. Imagine if everything's electric and no gas. It'd be a mess. It'd be a complete mess. When it got to be like 8 degrees out here in Chattanooga, I thank God for my gas furnace. My electric bill is not high. My gas bill is a little bit up there, but not as high as it would be for electric. It's a mess. All right. Now, we got some more topics on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls, and I'm going to try to use that new number we got. Hopefully that works pretty well. I don't know that that's a Skype. I'm going to check Skype to see what's going on in a little bit after we get done with this next one. So, the Biden classified documents, what's going on with that? Have you guys been watching that whole situation? Why is the media trying to throw it up under the rug like it didn't happen? Like, it just, nobody saw that. Nothing to see here. Why is everybody trying to like just skip past that whole thing like it didn't happen? Let me pull up the video that I want to address right quick. From matter of fact, there's a video, and then there's a graphic I want to show you guys. Hold on. So let's go ahead and search Biden documents. It should be right there. I really want to see this. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Perfect. Now you guys are going to fall out. What? Hold on. Let me make sure I got it right. Make sure I got the right image. Okay, perfect. There we go. All right, check it out. Watch this. So we know the media have been really trying to downplay the whole Biden documents thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, I guess some of Biden's lawyers or his people or somebody found some classified documents in an unsecured area in a quote unquote old office that Joe Biden had at Penn Station right by the White House. It's some kind of think tank he started after he was done as vice president. So I guess during Trump's term, he was out there at this office. Now, why they want to call it an old office when he had that under Trump? How old was that? Okay, Trump being nominated wasn't old. It's not old news to the left. So why is this office that was formed under Trump, not under Trump, but pardon me, while Trump was president, because Biden was on the government at this time. He was part of this think tank. Why is it considered to be an old office when it was done during Trump's time, and whatever Trump did or said during this time is not considered old news? But anyway, I digress. So they found the documents, unsecured documents about Iran, Iraq, and Ukraine. Now, pardon me, it was about Iran and Ukraine's some other stuff. These documents are found just kind of, floating around among other unclassified things, just random stuff. Classified, top secret with other stuff. So Biden's people found these documents before the midterm elections, but you are just now finding out about it right now in January 2023. That probably would have been good to know that you had documents just floating around. They were talking about Trump's documents like they didn't found the missing link, They didn't found a smoking gun on Trump. They found a smoking gun. He's going to jail for his documents he had at Mar-a-Lago that they knew were there the whole time that were not a surprise. You see what I mean? But Biden's documents were a surprise. He was careless, just left them right there. Didn't know they existed in that particular environment. Whatever. Now, here's a graphic I want to show you guys from CNN. Watch this. So you see, it's a comparison chart between Biden and Trump as far as classified documents found. That's a top headline right there, classified documents found. Under Biden, it says 10 total documents. Some were top secret. He's cooperating with the federales, and lawyers found and alerted archives. Okay, now look at what it said about Trump. At least 325 total documents. 60 were top secret. Under investigation for obstruction. Archives first reached out to Trump lawyers. So they're trying to downplay it and make it be different. You see what I'm saying? But really, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Ultimately, you're talking about top secret documents that were left in the unsecured location. And really, in Trump's case, they were in a secured location. In a safe, if I'm not mistaken, they were in a secured location. But with Biden, they were not in a secured location. But let's just say the documents are both in an unsecured location. This should be the same level of scrutiny and treatment and everything else. It shouldn't be different for Biden than it is for Trump. With Trump, they raided Mar-a-Lago, and then they had taken the picture like they found El Chapo with 8,000 keys of fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Like they took that picture with Trump's stuff. But with Biden, not really a big deal, man. Get over it. It's okay, man. It was only a few top secret documents. It's crazy. Yeah, the mean tweets. Oh, they're definitely downplaying the whole thing like crazy. They're definitely downplaying it. Let me see if I can find the picture of the documents from Trump. Yeah, I got that picture. Yeah. Remember this whole picture right here? Hold on. Me get a better picture. Remember this? This was ridiculous. So the feds raided Mar-a-Lago. Look at this pristine carpet or rug or whatever this is. They ought to be shaming themselves. Throwing that man's stuff on the floor like that. So they found a bunch of quote unquote top secret documents, took photos of them, and then put it out there to the public. Just randomly, like on Twitter or something like that, threw it out there. I'm like, okay, first of all, I see a Time magazine cover. Is that really that serious? Why is that a thing that is included in top secret documents? Is that not a public publication? Anyway, I digress. So my question from the beginning was, if these are so top secret, then why am I looking at them right now? I know I can't see what's actually in them, but why do I see them? If they're top secret, doesn't that mean top secret? Should I even be aware these exist? Or not? I guess, people just do just whatever. Anyway, that was taken right when they found the documents. They put them out there to the public, and they didn't find documents. They knew they were there. They were just there to collect them, I think, under a subpoena because Trump wouldn't hand them over. But they knew they were there. They wouldn't just go get them. There was no need to do any kind of raid. Just go pick them up. Knock on the door. Mr. Trump, you have documents that you want to give up. Let's go ahead and get them, man. We don't want to raid. It could be something simple as that. Not going in the raid and taking the El Chapo picture with 1,000 million trillion keys of cocaine and fentanyl and that. Come on, man. But no such picture will be taken with Joe Biden's documents. No such picture will exist. You will not see it. If that picture comes out of Joe Biden's documents, whoever takes the picture is going to lose their life ASAP. ASAP. So yeah, don't get Seth rich or anything like that. Please protect yourself out here. And I won't say too much more about that, so I will go ahead and digress. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward from that. Oh, your dog freaked out. My fault, man. It said don't knock my dog freaked out. I'm sorry, man. You know, blame the white man for that. Yeah, and shout out to your dog for being alert and making sure everything's good, making sure that you know the coast is clear and the premises are all secure. But we have a lot more going on. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, Roger Stone, remember the whole thing? Pride Matrix, he did nothing wrong. They raided Roger Stone with a boat. Like, they were doing way too much. They had his house surrounded because it's on the water. They had a boat in his backyard so he couldn't escape. Like, okay, what do you think he's going to do? Try to swim away? He's always in D.C. You could have just got him right there. He's at the same coffee shop, hanging out by himself, drinking whatever, drinking his little latte, espresso, chilling. Arrest him right there. Why go through this whole dog and pony show of having the federales raid right there at his house? And then CNN gets tipped off first. So CNN is there with their camera crew before the feds get there. It's like, what in the world is that? So the feds told the news that they're going to raid Roger Stone before Roger Stone knew it. If you're going to do all that, why not just arrest him in DC? Oh, it wasn't even about that. It's about just trying to make, it was about sending the message. Okay, CNN. We're giving you we're throwing you a bone right here because we know your wife is Corinne Jean-Pierre, Suzanne Malveaux. I think she left CNN, matter of fact, Suzanne Malveaux. And I know she was married to Corinne Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary. So if any kind of, you know, strange bond like that exists, any kind of, you know, fishy bond like that exists, if that's going on, you kind of know that it may be exploited. You know that CNN may get treated better CNN may get treated better, especially in the press room, because Corinne Jean-Pierre is married to a CNN contributor, Suzanne Malveaux. Yeah, LGBT, of course. I was saying this today. LGBT run Hollywood and DC because they don't have families to raise normally. Sometimes they do, but typically they don't. Like, you got a 25-year-old LGBT man. He has no kids. He has no real family ties like that are going to keep him occupied. He can work 18 hours a day and it's not really a problem. That's how this whole thing kind of works. And Hollywood is similar. That's just what it is. They come together. They kind of coalesce around each other. They build a big union and they just work like that. All right. And that's why some of these little splinter cell LGBT groups are trying to do other things that fulfill their narrative. Okay. Trying to become trans age and all kind of weird, freaky stuff like that. But I'm getting deep in the rabbit hole, so I digress. I'm reading some of the comments. You guys are hilarious talking about the cast iron. Yeah, the documents aren't classified because if they are, why take the pictures of them and put them out to the internet? Yeah, really ridiculous. Do I have more I want to get into? Oh, I've already shown the crazy mother, though. I'm gonna show one more time. I think I showed it on a live stream. Not crazy mother, the upset mother. Because of the whole shooting in Virginia and Rich Neck Elementary, a mother was interviewed after the whole thing. I guess she was coming to pick up her child or children. And she's from UK. And her whole thing was blame the gun. That was her whole shtick. So let's watch some of this. I think I might have shown a piece of this last time, but not the entire thing. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But let's go ahead and watch this to keep on going. So for context, again, this was outside of the shooting in Rich Neck Elementary in Virginia, where a 6-year-old pulled a gun and shot his teacher, a female teacher, on purpose. I have no words to even really describe how like I'm asking, how can that even happen? But let's go ahead and just watch this.
Guns. Okay, that's the biggest problem in this country. The statistics in the UK for crime is 0 for guns. Why is it so bad? Why is there a 7-year-old with a bloody gun? Come on, think about it. Let's do something. We've got a new governor now. Let's do something. Let's change it. You've got a beautiful country. You've got beautiful people. But what's the problem? Guns. How does a 7-year-old have a gun? That's what I'm pissed off with. I'm only here because my husband's in the military, or otherwise I would not have chosen to come to this country.
Thank you, ma'am.
Check it out, though. I mean, I don't care why you're here. I don't care why you're here. For your husband, your meemaw, your pawpaw. I don't care why you're here. If you don't want to be here, you can leave. You can leave. You can leave. We're a free country. Do as you want. This ain't North Korea. This ain't no penitentiary. You are free to go do whatever you want. Leave your husband and kids behind in the U.S. if it's that serious. Go back to UK. Go back to UK. How about that? You know, I sponsor your trip back. Go ahead and just leave if it's like that. And last I checked, UK was that some kind of bashing of safety and all that. I mean, they don't have guns like we have. And by the way, the UK is why we have guns, really, because we had to break away from them to get our independence, 1776, and we had to use guns. That's part of our Constitution, right to bear arms. Tyrannical government. You guys in UK were the tyrannical government you had to free yourselves from with guns. So you're the reason why we have guns right now. Like, it's your legacy. Okay, that's what you guys gave us. It is what it is. Hard truth. But yeah, the knife crime in UK is out of control. Out of control. And they don't want to talk about that part. They don't want to talk about, okay, if you were to somehow ban guns, which would be impossible, you could ban regular people for getting guns, I guess. People that abide by the law, you could ban them from getting guns. What about the criminals that already have their guns? Or people that abide by the law who already had their guns legally? What are you going to do? A confiscation? Hey, man, that ain't really going to work. That's not really going to work. I suggest you don't do that. You may have some normie guys that want to kind of just get along and do what the nice officer says, but you're going to have some that don't. And there will also be some police who refuse to enforce such a law. They're not going to do it. I'm like, nah, I'm not confiscating no guns because, first of all, you got Second Amendment. You don't want to violate that. But beyond that, you don't want to have a violent interaction with someone over you trying to confiscate their gun. Imagine that. You going into some random dude's house in the woods with a letter talking about we need to get your guns. If I was an officer, I'd refuse to do it. I would refuse to enforce a thing. Okay? I would go drive past the house and be like, man, he went home. I didn't know where he was, man. We're going to try again, like, in about 15 years. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, we'll move right along. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Noah Garcia says, ABL, did you hear about the stabbing spree in the Paris train station, or did you already cover it already? I've not heard about that. Let me look it up right quick. Paris train station stabbing. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, yeah. I think I saw some of that. Yeah, I saw it briefly when I came back from being on the road today. Oh, and watch this. You can't make it up. You cannot make this up. The timing right now is impeccable. I'm going to read this headline from NPR about the situation. Okay. And if there's a picture of people in this on this article, but the picture is not of the actual attacker as far as I know. Now, check it out. A man stabs 6 people at a Central Paris train station before police shoot him. So they can have guns, we can't. The military, the police, they can have guns, we can't. And it's weird because people that are advocates of gun control say that people that are just regular everyday folks, what they say, regular folks, they shouldn't have guns, but you could be a police officer, military, they can have guns too. But these same people, we talk about how bad the police are and they brutalizing black men. Make your mind up. Make your mind up. Either you hate the police and what they do and what they stand for, or you want the police to be the only ones armed. It can't be both. You can't hate the police and want them to be armed. Now, somebody's going to say, well, there shouldn't be any guns with police either. Well, look, check it out. If a guy's going on a stabbing spree and there's no gun to stop him, hey man, it's gonna be a rough day. Like, what should I do as an officer? Pull up with a samurai sword and try to behead him from about 20 feet away? Come on, let's be for real. You're gonna want that gun to neutralize that threat. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to get stabbed. I'm not trying to have to do with that recovery and trying to, not getting infected. And I ain't got no time to get stabbed or shot or nothing like that. I'd rather not have to deal with that kind of injury and neutralize the threat right away as soon as I can with the best tool for the job. It's simple. Very simple. But yeah, I've not covered this story. So I'm going to read some of this article right here. It says the suspect attacked several people, including a police officer, with a bladed weapon. A knife. Ain't that what that is? Or a sword. Why not say what the actual weapon was? Anyway, during the morning rush hour, Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin told reporters at the scene, flanked by Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo. Yeah, a big crazy mess. So it was at 6:42 a.m., like bright and early, right in the morning. Imagine that. You're getting ready for your morning commute or whatever it is, and you getting stabbed up on the train by some crazy man. So shout out to the police that were there. So the first guy that got stabbed 15 times, randomly, I suppose. The assailant then entered the station and attacked 4 civilians and a police officer. Crazy. Totally crazy. But yeah, I guess, hey man, I guess it's okay when that happens as long as there's no guns involved on the behalf of the normal citizen. But if the police have guns to stop this lunatic from stabbing everybody in the whole train station, that's totally fine. Funny how that works. It reminds me of the person that was talking about Black Lives Matter. Well, pardon me, the person, I think it might have been not Jennifer Aniston, the girl from Charmed. I know what I'm talking about. I forget her name. I'm going to look it up right now just to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Not Rose McGowan. Was it Alyssa Milano? I think it was her. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But one of these people, probably Alyssa Milano, were just wrapping up a protest about the police. They wanted to defund the police. They hated the police. They didn't want any kind of police patrolling these black and brown areas or whatever. And then what happened was some boy is on her property with an airsoft gun, I think hunting squirrels or something. She calls the police. The whole police force of that hamlet she lives in the Hollywood Hills came to her rescue. I'm talking about fire trucks and helicopters, police cars. It's like, oh, okay. So you want to have the police defunded for people that live off of the hill, live down in the gutter where all the poors. You want their police defunded, but your police, you want them fully funded to the max to respond to a boy with an airsoft gun. You got the whole police force of your hamlet out there. That's how they operate. They're always like that. You know what? Here's something else. Here's a little nugget for you. A quick nugget for you. Go to any big city. Atlanta especially, that's one where this happens. You'll go to certain spots and you'll see signs that say Black Lives Matter. And you could always tell a white establishment by a Black Lives Matter sign. Always. You go in there to the establishment, they're looking at you like you're an alien. Like, what you doing in here? They will have on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. You walk past them, they clutch their purse. A Black Lives, okay, I'm chilling, minding my business. I'm eating an acai bowl or whatever, you know what I mean, chilling. And then I'm walking past them. They got on a shirt. Black Lives Matter. You walk past, they're scared. That is how they operate. That's them. That is them. So yeah, all this stuff, all this talking about what they support and believe in is just BS. It just makes them look good in the eyes of their peers, but it's not a real thing. It's not a serious thing that they really practice every day. But I digress. That was on my chest. I wanted to get it off because that's all too common. And it's a pattern. Always the same pattern. You know, and it don't even really matter because I've seen it happen with black people too. It's not even a white versus black thing because I've seen, you know, a lot of the BLM type black folks do the same thing. Okay, you are not a non-BLM type person. You minding your business, walking up in the street, they clutch your purse too. Same as a white liberal. They're really afraid of you, but they want to kind of like, how can I say, they want to try and make themselves look good for their peers by saying how much they love you. It's so weird, but I will go ahead and move forward here. If you like what you have heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure why that guy was out there with an airsoft gun, John Pearson, you know, squirrel hunting with an airsoft. I don't know how he was able to get up there in California with an airsoft gun on, what was that, Alyssa Milano's property. I'm not sure how that happened, but that's what it was. And they called them police immediately on that boy. Immediately on him. All right. Super chats on deck. Then I'm going to try to get to the calls. There's a brand new number. And until we can get Skype fixed, the number will be the number. It's going to be 434-214-0142. The number will be in the description box at the very top. If you can't remember what I'm saying right now, go to the description box at the very top. It'll be right there. But I'll get to calls in just a minute. Y'all hang tight on the calls. I'll do that in just one moment. But we got super chats on deck. First I'm going to get to. Let me keep on moving. So shout out to, who am I shouting out first here? Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, what China is doing is addressing their population workforce retirement ratio. Inverted pyramid makes sense. Leo Mazzina says, how is China getting high COVID rates? One of the most restricted on COVID, such as the masks. It's the same reason why there's very high gun violence in Chicago, yet they got very tight gun laws. Maybe these things they're doing aren't working. You know, simple as that. And quite frankly, what they're doing could be aiding in the spread of the bug. You put everybody in one place, lock them down, they can't go anywhere in one building. It could spread that way. They get to Bobcat MIT, who says they want you to get an electric stove. How is electricity made? Burning oil and gas, maybe. I thought they hated oil and gas. Well, yeah, of course, but they want to control that. They don't want you to control it. You know, they want to control how you get your electricity. And they want to shut it off whenever they want to shut it off. Michael Critchlow says, what do you think of the huge casino opening at the end of the month in Portsmouth? Going to have a hotel, 7 restaurants, movie theater, and a 3,000 seat event center. You coming home to gamble? I don't understand why they put it in Portsmouth because it costs to go to Portsmouth. You got to go through the tunnel and pay a toll. So you're trying to get tourism with a toll? I don't understand. Who has an easy pass that comes from out of town? It's just kind of weird to me. Also, it's going to be a security hazard. Already, I know that. You know, I used to live right there in that part, like downtown. Like, I already know what it is. It's going to be a security problem for sure. You're gonna have them guys that come from, I don't even know what's out there now. Dale Holmes, Swanson, all them. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If they have good security, that's a big part of the success that they'll have. But if not, it's going to be a problem. And I think that the tunnel is going to be an issue because toll or no toll is still going to be traffic with that tunnel. I don't know. I want to see it actually work for a while and see how the whole thing goes. Because it can work, but it's going to take some effort. Think of Duvall's time, who says Trump 2024, and also clowns trying to take all of our freedoms away. Razor Sharp Thoughtfulness says, quote, the federales are watching. Quick, everybody bend a knee, raise your fist, and pretend to be serious, unquote. Think it's a Todd Terrell who says, if I did this as a former military member, I would still be in jail. Think it's an Evo Dragon who says, did you hear about the AR-15 ban in Illinois? No, I didn't. That's crazy. How are they going to ban an AR-15? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's the dumbest thing. People are so silly. They would vote for a thing like that. They would support a thing like that. They don't know what AR-15 is. I saw a video clip where they were talking about, they were just demonstrating what an AR-15 does to a watermelon, but it was really a shotgun. Hold on. That clip couldn't have been real, but if it was real, I'm not surprised. Wait a minute. Oh, and then I remember that there was a guy talking about, it might have been the AR he had, and he was demonstrating it, talking about, oh, this right here is a full semi-automatic. It's like, what? Full semi-auto? What does that mean? Either it's fully automatic or semi-automatic. Or neither one. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. Did I get everything? Oh, here we go. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, I live in Rich Neck. No one's taking her seriously. Are you talking about the lady that got shot, or who you mean? But thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And yeah, I know my voicemail is going to be crazy right now. Hey, I've gotten some of your voicemails. You guys are nuts. Not all you guys, but I heard some wild voicemails. I ain't going to play them. I'm going to just respect people's privacy to a certain extent. I'll be the bigger guy here. But let's go ahead and get cracking. Y'all give me a second, and I think we're good now. The phone line should be open. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat as well. All right, hold on. I think hold on. Make sure I'm good. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, baby? Oh, it's JB Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. Hey, good show tonight, man. You know, some interesting topics. Man, that Jimmy Fallon thing was, that made me want to vomit.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Anyway, just a couple quick things. This whole the gas stove thing. I mean, the Democrats are trying to make us into a totally electric company in just a couple short years. It's not going to fly. I mean, for this country to ever become fully electric, it's going to take decades. It's not something you can just do overnight. So, right. I mean, the way they're pushing it, it's not good. Yeah, it's putting people out of jobs, and we're just not ready for it yet. You know, we got to gradually do it.
Exactly. It should be a thing that naturally happens with technology advancement. It can't just be, okay, let's just declare it and it'll happen. That doesn't make any sense to go about it that way.
No, not at all. Like I said, if I had an electric car, I wouldn't even know where to charge it. I mean, I'd have to drive to Tulsa probably to charge it. And then by the time I get down there and drive back home, the battery would be dead. I mean, yeah, that's not going to work. But anyway, one more quick thing. Okay. You remember a few weeks ago, maybe about a month or so, I called in and I announced that I was pregnant. You know, big, exciting announcement, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You got to look this up real quick. Yeah, it's the woke culture has infected DC Comics. I mean, I don't read comic books.
I saw that. Joker.
Yeah, Joker is pregnant.
Yeah, man. I showed that on the live stream. That was crazy. Like they showed they showed that Joker was pregnant and that Red Hood was the OBGYN.
Oh my God. Jesus. I don't even know what to say about that.
It's crazy. It's totally crazy. I mean, but that's where we're going nowadays, because what I was saying last time is that they want to indoctrinate the youth with this kind of stuff, because it's fantasy, obviously, but it looks like it has some kind of semblance to reality, using real terms like OBGYN to make you think that a man can get pregnant, to totally just change that whole thing that we were taught as kids coming up, that men cannot get pregnant. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, it's one of the reasons that I'm kind of glad I don't have any kids growing up nowadays, because I don't know. Oh, they're hearing some wild stuff. Yeah, they really are. I feel bad for them. But anyway, I'll leave it at that and let you get on to other callers. I know it's a late night for you. So, all right, man. Love you, dude. Love everyone in the chat. You know, all my friends in the chat. And all right, you have a good night, buddy.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, later.
Three or four, you're on line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL, it's your favorite West Virginian / Georgian here.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I was surprised to get through. I didn't know if you had call waiting on that burner phone you got.
Oh yeah, it has call waiting on it, man. So it's going pretty good here.
I hear you. Yeah, I was listening to this feather. I didn't know I was going to get through like that. But no, I was trying to call in last time whenever your stuff crashed or whatever. But no, I didn't know the guy right there in front of me was going to speak about the stoves, but I was going to speak about it also. You know the Nord Stream pipeline, right?
Yeah.
So it turns out that more than likely, we're the cause of it, getting blown up or whatever. Because I mean, Biden's on record saying, we can blow it up if we want. And they're like, how you going to do that? And he's like, trust me, we can do it. Okay, so they cut gas supply off from Russia that way, and now they're going to try to cut our gas supply off, and we can sell our gas to Europe for 4 times the price that we can sell it to ourselves for, per se. So do you think that could be something, in the back of their minds? Like, we'll tell them to stop using gas, and then we'll just sell all our gas to Europe for 4 times profit.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about it like that. I mean, and they could kind of kill a few birds with one stone, because, all right, they can make themselves look virtuous by not having gas be a thing in America as much anymore. They can adhere to all this Green New Deal type stuff, but at the same time, make a killing by selling our gas to Europeans, because we cut off the supply from Russia. And you know what? That's probably the whole point here, is to weaken Russia. So
right, and we look like heroes for helping them supply them their gas that they so desperately need, even though we cut off their supply in the first place, and it gives a whole extra boost to the whole war in Ukraine.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, if you think about it, in that aspect. But I was also wanting to talk about these classified documents that Biden's lawyers just happened to stumble across there in some building somewhere. And I was watching him talk about it down in Mexico City, and he was like, they were in a locked cabinet. He was like, actually, they were just in a closet, rather. Okay, so Trump's documents were at least in his estate, security, in a safe, locked up. His were just in some random closet somewhere, and they've asked him, what were they? And he said his lawyers, told him, not worry about it, don't even ask what they were. I mean, how irresponsible is that? Biden said, you know, how irresponsible can you be as a president, and he can't even answer what the documents were about, or you know, his lawyers. I mean, that isn't that the definition of classified information that someone? I mean, his lawyers are just his lawyers. I mean, how can they just come across it and then not even tell him what they are, other than we sent it to the archives or whatever? I mean, it just doesn't make sense how they're just sweeping this under the rug. I think it's a little bigger than what they're I don't know, I guess hiding, you know.
I believe you're right. You know, it's much bigger. The media wants to kind of like downplay it because they don't want the American people to think, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? They don't want any kind of questions, so they just kind of want to skip past it. So I think you're right.
Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. I was going to ask you some questions last week about the McCarthy, the what's his title? I'm drawing.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah. I didn't know exactly what they did, and then I got to looking it up. I mean, do they really have that much, you know, the House Speaker, do they really have that much power to, you know, persuade any type of real things? I saw where they can, you know, they can pretty well say what bills come through, and, you know, they can persuade others on what bills to pass and whatnot, but how much power do they really have?
I mean, some power, but not as much as what some people may think. It's not like a make or break type situation. Their whole thing is like to rally the troops around a particular bill or get certain things done. But ultimately, it has to be something that people want to do. So it's not really that serious like people trying to make it be.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought after I started researching a little bit. Pardon my ignorance on that, but I was just like I said, I was going to ask you about it last week, but the phones were out, and then I ended up doing a little research on my own. But I'm going to get off here and let you get to your other people.
Thanks.
And I appreciate your time. Love the show, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
773 online, I'm speaking to.
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Hello to you and to everybody, all the regulars in chat. ABL, it's a done deal here in Illinois. The AR-15 ban only needs the governor's signature, which he is going to sign. There's no way he's not. He's going to sign that, and there will be an AR-15 ban here in Illinois. God knows what they're going to do with everybody that already has one. It just made them criminals. That's exactly what happened, and made law-abiding citizens criminals. The second thing here, ABL, is that there are thousands of people that have firearms for their own protection that you never, ever see. They're never involved in an incident. It's the criminal that you see has, you know, that uses these firearms, whether it's a handgun, a knife, you know, a shotgun, it doesn't matter. Criminals use this kind of force. And the thing about that is that you shouldn't make policy on the worst people. Just because some nut job takes a gun, whether it's an AR-15 or 5 handguns or whatever it might be, and goes somewhere and kills a bunch of people because they're psychotic, you shouldn't make policy according to those bad seeds, because there's hundreds of thousands of people that are armed that have no incident whatsoever. My other point is the hypocrisy of the left, you know, the government, but mostly the left. The hypocrisy is that we are spending billions of dollars to arm the Ukraine. Now, you might agree with that, or you might not agree with that, whether we should do that or not. But the fact remains that this government recognizes the fact that in order to counteract an armed assault, you have to be armed too. That's why we're sending billions of dollars to the Ukraine. In order to defend yourself, you need a way to do that. You're not going to do that with a bunch of pitchforks and rakes. You need arms to defend yourself against an armed conflict. And the American citizens, there's many of us who have firearms to protect ourselves that never use it, never want to use it, have no intention of using it unless, your life is threatened. And also the hypocrisy, let's remember that Alyssa Milano showed up to an anti-gun rally with 2 armed bodyguards. And why was that? Because she recognizes the fact that maybe her life could be in danger because of her stance and her opinions, but she wants to feel protected. So why can't the rest of us feel protected, Alyssa Milano, by having and defending ourselves with firearms? See, when you disarm the general public, all that does is it gives power to those who still have those things, to still have a way to take over you. That's the whole thing. When you take away the guns from law-abiding citizens, only the criminals have guns, or only the tyrannical government has guns, and you never know. And then when it happens, don't you think that the history of World War II and the Holocaust would have been different if those people were armed and they could defend themselves against the Nazi regime and everything else? You have to have a way, and you have a right to protect your life. You have a right to do that. And that's why Alyssa Milano had 2 armed bodyguards, because she has the right to protect herself. But in the meantime, she wants to take that right away from everybody else. And this government wants to take the rights away from everybody else. They don't want an armed society. And it's not because everybody's going to go out and shoot up a concert from a Las Vegas hotel room, or go in and shoot, a bunch of kids at a school. These are incidences that happen. But compared to how many guns are out there that people have to protect themselves, it's a small drop in the bucket. And I'm not trying to, say that those lives don't matter, because they do. But let's put the blame on where the blame belongs. It's not on the firearm, and it's not on the law-abiding citizens that own firearms. They want to take the guns away from you because they want to be able to control you. And that's what it is. They want to be able to control you. And, we'll see what happens here in Illinois. I mean, I'm a retired policeman, so I have, a lot of rights for firearms and this and that, but who knows, they might want to take that away from me, because the fact remains I'm no longer the police. I spent nearly a quarter of a century as a policeman, but I'm a retired policeman now. I'm just a normie citizen now as far as they're concerned, and who knows what they might do to my rights too. And God forbid what they do to the rights of the common citizen that's law-abiding, that is a gun owner and responsible and everything else. Because when you take the gun, there's laws on the books already. Law-abiding citizens follow the law. It's the criminal that doesn't follow the law. They're not supposed to have those guns in the first place, but they do have them. So your laws don't really work. They only work for the law-abiding citizen. And God forbid, when the criminal takes over, then it's too late. Then it's too late, because you're unarmed and you're a lamb to the slaughter. That's my 2 cents, $5, whatever you want to call it, ABL. I'll get your thoughts, and thanks a lot. Always happy to participate.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Great call. I don't got too much more to add. that was a great call. And thank you for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. 814 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
All righty, what's happening?
Sorry about that. Hi, I called you probably 2 years ago was the last time I called you. Unrelated to everything that I ever talked about or that you're talking about tonight so far is my mom is a high school teacher, and she deals with a lot of the LGBT BS that is unfortunately pandered onto her. And she is told, you know, you have to reaffirm all of these kids' identities. And she isn't really about that. She's a conservative as well. And whenever she has to write up like IEPs and intellectual stuff for the parents, and you know, let's just say they named their daughter Isabel, but at school she's Isaac. And she'll say, well, Isaac is doing, you know, really well at school. She got lectured by the superintendent, by the principal, and everybody else, saying, hey, the parents aren't actually cool with Isabel being called Isaac. So you need to say, you know, it needs to be Isabel with the parents. She's like, well, I shouldn't hide the identity that you guys are trying to promote for their own child. And the school is trying to say, oh, well, yeah, of course you're Isaac if you're Isabel. But don't let the parents know. Don't let the parents know that we're promoting this fake identity and this this mirage for this child, even though, you know, you would think that the parents should know. It's disturbing how the schools are indoctrinating the children, and yet not letting the parents know exactly how what their child is up to and what the school promotes. And she told me that a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And it's, you know, she wants to get out of it. She wants to retire, but I mean, what do you think, ABL? Like as a teacher and as her being conservative, it's like, well, what, you know, do you get backlashes by the school board, or do you get backlash, you know, from the parents? It's tough.
I mean, you can't really win in that situation, because on one end, you want to keep your job. You know, you got, especially if you got, you know, mouths to feed or whatever, you want to keep your job. But at the same time, what are we doing to society? Like the school board really is at fault here. That's the ultimate thing that needs to be addressed, is the school board. And if that's not addressed, then it doesn't even really make a difference, because the parents are going to be left out. Everybody's being victimized by the school board. I think all the teachers should just come as a collective, go on strike, whatever they can do to fight against this, because this is ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening at all anywhere in the country.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I feel bad for her. You know, I call her every week or so, and, you know, her hands are tied one way. You know, she tries to tell the parents, hey, you know, your kid is trying to identify as this here in the classroom. Then the school board is like, well, you shouldn't be saying that to the parents, because now the parents are upset that, you know, and then the kid's going to get reprimanded. But if she doesn't, then she just, you know, she's lying to the parents. And, you know, that's a teacher shouldn't lie to the parents. That's completely absurd. And, yeah. But anyway, I always heard about these, the school trying to indoctrinate the kids and the school just thinking that they know what's best for the child. And I thought that it was like in bigger cities. And, I'm
Right on.
out here in Podunk, Pennsylvania, and
Yeah,
I realize that it's out here too.
It's everywhere,
So.
man. It's sweeping the nation, unfortunately. And I think that a lot of these smaller places are being targeted because they want to have it saturated throughout the entire country, not just the very liberal pockets. They want it to be everywhere. It's really crazy. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
You know what's going on with the whole thing of like the indoctrination of youth? It kind of reminds me of New York drug dealers from the 90s, where they would go to like little small towns to sell their drugs, places that never experienced that kind of stuff before. That's kind of what's going on with this whole woke indoctrination. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Epiday Ranger Xbox, buddy. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Just crazy world that we live in these days. I would like to explain a few things to your callers real quick, if I could,
All right.
please. First of all, the difference between me and you, and I'm not putting you down on this, I'm getting to a point where everything's going to tie together. I'm 62 years old. I graduated high school in 1979. The one thing that Jimmy Carter did in 1979 was institute the Department of Education. Y'all pay attention now. America went from number 1 in the country to number 17 overnight for education. So you take that for what it's worth. Now, I know I got a Southern accent, but a whole bunch of fellers that talk like I do send a man to the moon using a slide rule, piece of paper, and a pencil.
That's right.
So you can make fun of my accent all you want, but I got a degree in aviation maintenance technologies, graduated with 4.0. So there's that. Anyhow, the difference between Trump and Biden. Some of you people may want to get out a pen and paper and take some notes, or maybe a pencil with an eraser in case you make some spelling mistakes. First of all, the President of the United States is also known as the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces. He has the authority to set the classification of documents, period. The Vice President does not. Second of all, if you actually zoom in on the picture of that, the cover sheet for a top secret folder, zoom in and read what it says. It's in plain English. This cover sheet is not classified. Those folders were empty at Trump's. Joe Biden, on the other hand, Vice President, is not the Commander-in-Chief. He's not even the Deputy Commander-in-Chief. He's kind of like a male first lady in a lot of aspects.
Right. So basically, he shouldn't have had those documents at all anyway because he was a vice president, not the president. He shouldn't have been in that position to have that. So Trump could have it because he was a president. He can declassify, he can do all of that, but Biden cannot do those things.
Exactly, and they made it. Everything that's been going on is a great big psyops. And if you don't want to be indoctrinated and conditioned by a psyops operation, all you got to do is turn the TV off. I mean, watch movies, maybe some ABL videos on YouTube, but turn off the main. Don't watch their shows anymore. Don't watch their media, and let them go broke because they're all owned by the same people. And Reuters is owned by the Rothschilds. Now, remember, and this trans agenda that they're pushing, if they can get you to believe that a man can become a woman just by saying so, they can get you to believe any stupid, idiotic idea that they want to throw at you, like it's okay for adults to have sex with 4-year-old kids, because that's where the World Economic Forum is going. And if you notice how many of these people, Anthony Weiner, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, that all, Bill Clinton, all of them, friends of Epstein, Bill Gates, all on the flight log, Epstein Island. Federal regulation, you got to be on the flight log.
Mm-hmm.
They need an accounting of all souls on board. And there was something else I want to get to. See, China has North Korea as their experimental laboratory of how to run a total dictatorship. No power, no food, no real way to cook the food unless you go out and gather sticks. They don't have reliable power, but the elites live like gods. And that's the way the World Economic Forum wants to live. Al Gore you don't need to worry about his $30,000 a month electric bill.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to worry about that because they're going to double or triple your state of Connecticut. Just put out because they're starving us of natural gas to sell to Europe at what I read was 3 times the price. But also what you got to take into consideration, the ship that's taking that over there to Europe is burning enough diesel fuel to run 100 semi-trucks from California to Maine. So not only is it way more expensive, but they're starving us. And remember this, you always want to disarm your enemy. If our government cared about us and loved us and was doing what was right for us, they wouldn't be interested in disarming us, which is going to tell you what's coming down the pike, because Klaus Schwab said that China is a shining example of how the world should be run,
right,
under that type of government.
Right,
and anyway, I'm going to close out with that. I had something else I was going to say. The teachers that are teaching transgenderism or homosexuality or any other sexuality, parents find out, they need to call the police and file a report.
I agree with you.
I don't go up to your kids. Well, I know you don't have kids yet, but maybe one day. Get you a Filipino, ABL. So it's a wonderful place. You got to go visit. You already love the food, so you know you're going to have a good time eating.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But what you do is file a police report and press charges for sexual predation, because I don't have any business talking to anybody else's kids about sex, and they don't have any business talking to my kids. I don't want a straight man talking to my 13-year-old daughter about sex, and I don't want a gay man talking to my 10-year-old son about sex. I'm an equal opportunity. Somebody's going to jail, and it's probably not going to be you.
Exactly, man.
All right, I'll leave you with that, ABL. God bless. Love your show. God bless America. Let's get our country back. Set this world back right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video. Share the video. Do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And did I get to everybody that I wanted to? Hold on. There's a lot happening. Okay, let's do this here. 612, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
This is a pastime caller, Connor Yuri. I was on for your last session. I just wanted to say, as much as I hate what they're doing, you gotta respect how much of their crazy agenda the left is pulling off.
Yeah,
you gotta, you know, I was taught to respect your enemy. That way, I can't remember what you're supposed to do about it, but the best way to defeat your enemy or something was to respect them first. So I don't know. I'm going on about a side ramble, but I'm trying to give credit where credit's due. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that I honestly believe things are going to get worse before it gets better. Have you heard of Jericho?
Jericho, what?
Jericho. It was I think it was a biblical city or something.
Oh, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Well, basically, the gist of the situation I'm trying to get at is everything collapses. Everyone who becomes a higher up, their empire will collapse, and it's only a matter of time. So they can play their little games of taking away our guns, taking away our electricity. It might hurt us, but their empire will crumble very hard on them. Whether I'm alive to see it or not, I have faith that things will change for the better, and I want people that truly hold on to hope. Can we get a thumbs up for hope, people?
I got you on that one for sure.
Yeah. Continue doing your great work, and I gotta go. I'm watching someone's live stream right now. He's a cool guy. You might want to watch him. He's great.
Yeah, right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are fantastic. Sorry for that loud noise at the end of the call. That's just Google doing what they want to do. It's like, okay, I know the call is over with. You don't got to, you know what I mean? But that's just what they do. It's all good. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I thought he meant Jericho Green. I was like, Jericho, my man, like Jericho Green? Like, what you mean? Or are you talking about Chris Jericho, WWE? But nah, I got what he was saying, though. Shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, let's go. 331, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Leslie.
All righty, what's going on?
I got through finally. It's a pain.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
You got to pay your bills. Get up that Skype again. I'm just kidding. How are you doing though tonight?
Oh, it's all good. You know, I just I was late today. I was in traffic. It was crazy. It was like debris on the road. It was like a toilet that had been broken on the road. It was crazy, but I'm glad I made it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did catch that. So when you went live, I think I had missed probably like the first 20 minutes, but you left like the more interesting topics that I found more interesting towards the end. So that was good. I guess it was a win-win.
There you go. Perfect.
So you know how we always used to tell, well, I don't know we all say it, right? Like, Biden, leave the minors alone. Now we got to start yelling at him, Biden, leave our gas stoves alone.
Right, exactly.
It's like what you were saying. They've been around for how many years? I have never heard of anyone, at least in my family, that have passed away due to any type of adverse effects from gas stoves.
Yeah, I've never heard that in my life. I mean, I've known plenty of family members that had gas stoves. It's not really a big issue. You know, the food is good on the gas stove. I've never heard about, oh, well, somebody passed away because they cooked on the gas stove. That's just preposterous.
Right. It's like, you know what? Like I said, if I have to make a list of 100 things that in reality concern the American people, gas stoves wouldn't be on it. Can we cancel Big Pharma? Because I know Big Pharma is responsible for, a lot of these deaths and these reoccurring cycles of illnesses and diseases. Can we do that for a change? They won't do that, though.
Right. Exactly.
That and it's like what you said as well. I mean, it has a lot to do with control, because think about it. This is what their whole reset really is the fact that they want full control of the U.S. population. They want to control us. And look at what happened out there in California. It was being mandated that, everyone had to own either an electric car or like a hybrid type of a vehicle. But then guess what happens? It was sometime in September last year that all of a sudden they're having an electricity crisis, and that was causing blackouts. And they cannot sit here and say, no, ABL, the swamp and all them, because there was a lot of people posting on TikTok, on YouTube, like those little shorts or whatnot videos, people saying, can you believe it? They're making us buy these electric cars, and I can't even charge it because there's some crisis going on with the electricity. There are blackouts, and I couldn't even get to work today.
Right. That's crazy, but that could be happening.
So I'm like, it has a lot, of course, it has a lot to do with the control. And then the last thing I wanted to comment real quick is the whole what's going on with the Biden classified documents as a vice president. So we're gonna downplay it, not us, but the mainstream media. The mainstream media is going to downplay it and not bring it up, not be furious, nothing. And then you have Biden's press secretary stating that the president didn't know. He didn't know at the time he had the documents. How do you not know? But then yet again, I mean, he's playing like, he has some kind of Alzheimer's. So what do you think, ABL?
I mean, I think that he probably did know and just was careless about it. Just left him there, didn't even really care about it. It was like, I don't care about them documents, just leave him over there. And then they want to say, oh, he didn't know. That's typical, when you go to court, that's the excuse. Oh, I didn't know that I couldn't smoke crack in public. It's like, come on, be for real.
Right. No, and I wanted to make one last quick comment. It's a little bit off topic, but it has something to do about these electric cars. Look, I wanted a Tesla recently because I had to turn in my BMW. I had a BMW. It was time the lease was up. And I've been like dancing around the bush because of these high rates. I qualify for the best rates they possibly have, but I'm not gonna buy a vehicle when the interest rates are over 7.5%. I think that's ridiculous.
Yes.
I have never paid interest rates that high. So I was like, you know what, let me go and rent a Tesla. Let me see how I like it, how it drives and whatnot. ABL, it's cold outside and it wouldn't even charge. I had it charging for 8 hours and I only got 11%. They're not ready. They're not ready.
Nah, not at all. I mean, if you can't perform in cold weather, like just at all, can't even charge, you're not ready for the long haul. Not at all.
No, it's like, nope, next. I love Elon, but I was like, I'm sorry, I got to pass on it. So I'm going to give him another 5-10 years. I can't do that.
Exactly.
All righty, ABL. I just wanted to go ahead and comment on that. And good show. I want to wish you a wonderful night. God bless you, and God bless everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All righty. Great calls tonight. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. I'll be back live again on Saturday for my regular time. I promise, regular time, 8 o'clock. I'm not going nowhere Saturday. I'll be right here, ready to push a button at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And now I'll post this particular video. I'll post it, not the video, pardon me, the audio. It'll be up by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live, and that should pop right on up. And I got super chats to read right quick. Then I got to roll. I got to go to bed. I need to go to bed right now. I was halfway asleep driving. It was crazy. I had to pull over, take a little, just walk around. Yeah, it's a lot going on. I just relax. All right, let me go to the supers here. Thank you to Evo Dragon, who says, did you hear about I read that one, the AR-15 ban in Illinois? And I think F Ranger Xbox says Native Americans trusted the government. How'd it go? Exactly. People talking about the government, not trusting the government, and I'm the same way. And then they say, well, why are you political? Well, the objective should be a small government, not a government that you have to worry about trusting with all these small things. I don't trust the government to regulate my stove. The solution would be not to eliminate government totally. I'm not an anarchist, but how about just not have the government regulate my stove at all? How about the government should just leave the business of stoves alone? Simple. Government should be there for critical, like national security, that type of stuff. Not for, and they don't do that barely, because we're over in Ukraine for what? Trying to pick a fight with Russia and China, and then our borders are wide open. So the thing I want you to do the most, you're not doing very well. I mean, you do it at a certain level, but there's some obvious flaws in what I want you to actually do. And then you do way too much as it relates to your role in our lives. So back up from our lives, just back up a little bit and focus on your actual core objectives. So that's pretty much what that is. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll get up in the morning, do some more videos for you guys. More videos tomorrow, of course, as always. Pre-recorded content coming out, and I'll be back live on Saturday. I'm not going on the road trip or nothing like that the day before or that day of. So I'll be ready and raring to go Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live show. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.